Brodes Media.
They're going to play the Boston Celtics in the second round. Here's what I know. Joel Embiid just dropped 52, shooting 20 of 25. Shooting 12 of 13 from the free throw line. Securing the MVP. This guy's a monster. He puts you in a position to succeed. But, yes, there are some questions about the others, and he is going to need help, specifically Tyrese Maxey. Embiid and Harden will be Embiid and Harden. What's Maxey in the matchup against Boston? I don't think he's ready yet, unfortunately. That's no knock on him. I was saying the same thing about Embiid for years. There was pressure because on how we acquired Joel, that he had to step on that court and automatically be an NBA champion. But you have to learn how to win. You have to learn how to go through a playoff run. First off, someone like Maxey playing at Kentucky, not that he was there for 10,000 years, but the journey of a regular season is very toxic. It's taxing on your body. And then after those 82 games, here comes the intensity rising by 200%, and you're playing against grown men. It's a different beast. You have to learn how to get there and then learn how to win there. Well, we're kind of dealing with that a bit with Tyrese Maxey. That's why the most recent win against Boston, it was great to see Embiid. That was fantastic. Arguably the best performance I've seen. 52 on that shooting percentage? 20 of 25, 12 or 13 from the field? His first quarter stat line is what people have in a 48-minute game. He got that in the first quarter. You could see the killer. You could see that this was going to be a long night for Boston. Embiid doesn't have the problem with Boston. It's Maxey. That matchup is problematic for him. He can average 20 points per game against basically every other team in this damn league. The problem is the hump we got to get over is Maxey's biggest matchup. His biggest matchup issue. And that was without Jaylen Brown on the floor. And I don't know, other than Maxey playing better, what you can do. There's no magic potion that Doc Rivers can hand Tyrese Maxey. I've heard some criticism on Doc because, and this makes me laugh, because of the way that Harden, during the game, put his fingerprints on it by saying, let's put Tobias in the dunker spot, move PJ into the corner, let's see if we can get something going with that. And it's like, oh, Harden is telling Doc what to do. Doc blows. No, this is what winning caliber players do. This is more, for me, and I hate to go back to Ben, and it does tie back to Ben a lot of the times, but it's to put it on display on what a real point guard does and how someone who really understands the game and sees the floor properly can adjust in game. This is what great players do. Someone like Chris Paul, you don't think Chris Paul goes back to the bench and has conversations with the coaching staff on what he's seeing when he's out there? This is really showing you the strengths of what James Harden brings to the table. This is why it's important to have a floor general that can see and understand the game and break down the game smoother than a dude that can't shoot a basketball and just plays in an open floor. There's fair criticism here, though. There's a clip flying around when Doc Rivers was on ESPN getting interviewed about the all-bench lineup. If he goes all-bench lineup, I'm going to rip him into shreds. I'm going to annihilate him. That can't happen. Embiid and Harden, one of those two, have to be on the floor at all times. They have to be playing 40-plus minutes of action out of the 48. So if that's not the case, then yeah, I'm with you. We'll have the pitchforks, reasonably so, about how that's unacceptable. The rotations are going to be fascinating. George Niang against the Celtics, not that great of a matchup. I also feel you need the spacing on the floor of George Niang and hitting some threes. Could it be a home game? It's not going to be many games that Niang balls out against Boston. It's a similar feeling that we have with Tyrese Maxey right now, but we need it. Seems like they cause us a matchup problem, which blows that you're seeing them so early in the postseason, because if you flip-flopped the Bucks with the Celtics and you saw the Bucks in the second round compared to the Celtics, and if you were to see the Celtics in the third round, there's a totally different tone surrounding what we're about to witness this spring. But this is where you're at. It just seems with Boston, and I feel good about the Sixers' chances. I do. I'm not saying it's automatic. I'm not saying it's 100% they win the series, but I think they have a good chance, just like the Celtics have a good chance in this. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be intense. It's going to be a very wild ride. But with Joel Embiid playing at this level, you're in it. It just comes down to what else do you have surrounding him. Now, Ty brought this up on The Fanatic, and I don't disagree with him. But if you're looking for 4 wins, and I want to kind of lay this out there for you to see where our mindset is on what they need to do. If Embiid's going to win you 2 games, where you solely look at the 48 minutes, go, dude, that guy, he gave you 48. He gave you 48 and 17 with 7 assists. You won because Embiid was a monster. He's going to have to be fantastic for all of your wins. You're not going to win games in the postseason if Embiid isn't some sort of dominant effect. But there's some nights where he has 38 and 12, and then there's some nights where he can have 49 and 17 with 6 assists. You see the difference? So bear with me for a second. 2 of the games, it's going to be Embiid's night. One of those wins has to be a Harden night. To get the 4th win, is it fair to say that some sort of collective group, whether one guy goes off or it's 2, Maxey gets 20, Tobias gets 22, some combination of the crew other than those 2 players, Embiid, that might be the night where Embiid has 32 instead of 49. But it has to be a collective unit with the others to win you a 4th. That's how you're going to have to grasp your 4 wins, because it's impossible to demand Joel to give you 52 like he did in their last game against Boston for 4 wins. It's just impossible. So I think. Although I can't rule anything out with the man playing this possessed. And do you have faith that the collective group can do that one time? And that's why I'm holding my hat on this, that the Sixers have a good chance.